guest is one of those voices that you hear on radio that engage you, man. And I love this guy. He's been here with me before, some time back, but since then, I think he's married and he has a child and things like that. But he will tell us everything about himself. Folks, I'm very, very honored today to have in my house one of the presenters that I respect so well. Put your hands together. Show some love for Suhuyini Al-Hassan. Hey, then go this, then back, then this. All right. Okay. Good to have you here, man.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you, man. How you doing, man?
I'm great.
Like I said, last time we spoke, you were very single.
Yeah, and you still look the same.
As really? Definitely, they're not the same.
You are the youngest old man I know.
The youngest old man, I'm telling you. Now the old man is slowly creeping over the young man.
Okay, maybe I should say Mbo.
You know what I'm saying? Good to have you, man.
Same here. Same.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So how have been as a married man? Are you enjoying? You are so happy to sacrifice those boring single days.
Were they boring single days? Maybe. Well, I don't know. I think it's a new experience altogether, and I think I prepared for it.
Okay.
I psyched myself up for the challenges. I think that I wouldn't say I've been surprised by anything yet.
Yeah, you were ready.
I was ready. So even though there have been a few changes in my pattern of life and the things that I do, I used to do as a bachelor,
Yes.
but
yes.
I was ready. I prepared myself, so I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. You have a daughter now?
Yes, I do. She's adorable. I mean,
wow.
she keeps me very happy. Yeah, sometimes I just get off work and the only thing I think about is to go home and play with her.
Wow. How old is she now?
She's 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, very adorable. She's called Mandea.
Mandea.
I gave her a local name, which means I have taken.
I have taken.
That is to say,
right.
I have patience to endure.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Wow. So it keeps you a different kind of focus,
True. I mean, at that time, I think, when we first got married, one of the difficult things was to get up early and go to work and then watch her lie there and you're like, well, shouldn't I stay more in bed? But, she understands my business because she was also in the media. In fact, she was with Metro TV, where she worked as a news reporter. So she understands
she knows
our
the
job
business.
as journalists. So she hasn't forced me to change too many things about my work requirements, and I haven't had to. And I think it works for us.
That's great.
Even though she has changed her profession now.
She has.
We all couldn't be in it.
Yeah. So she's now managing.
She's
home affairs.
Yeah, she's home affairs. In fact, that one you can't compete with them, can you? They take charge and they become the domestic president. But yeah, she is with the National Health Insurance Authority now, and she works in their public affairs department.
Oh, wow.
Someone has to pay their bills.
Whilst
we just have fun doing.
Well, you're fun. You're being paid very well for your fun.
Very well.
That's
relative.
Let me take the very. You're being paid well.
maybe I'll have to consult with Bafobone before I proceed on this one. But yes, I thank God. I mean, life. I mean, you take what you get, and you work for what you think you deserve, and that has always been my approach. Nothing is too small, nothing is too much. It's just all in the mind. Yeah.
Well, you are with Radio Gold. Yeah. And well, the perception, or is it a perception of the reality? So Radio Gold is pro-government. And with that is, all their workers are sorted. They're well sorted, man. That's just the natural, normal thinking of, and it's all gold, They're all well sorted, Do you get that?
I hear that all the time. And at first it used to break my heart because when you know the truth and people say otherwise, you get so emotional about it and you feel insulted sometimes. I did feel insulted a couple of times but over time I have come to accept it as, you know, a normal thing. Because you see, if perhaps I were in their shoes, I would have been forgiven to think the same way. But because I am in it, I know what the reality is. For example, on the issue of us being pro-government, I have a simple concept of journalism, and it has, you know, grown over the years that we can't continue to pretend that as journalists we do not have biases. I mean, what is important in the profession is for us to be fair, despite our biases. And I give this simple example because maybe now I have a daughter, that if my child goes to school and then engages in a fight with another person's child, and I get called, and after the briefing, I realize that my child is the one who started the fight and, you know, is at fault. The fact that I have a bias in favor of my child is not going to stop me from being fair and addressing the issue of my child, you know, being wrong and having to apologize and perhaps do what is right to appease the other family. That is the approach with which I work as a journalist. So as a station, I mean, look at all our radio stations in Ghana, our television stations, our news houses, and you can tell, I mean, unless you are not an active news consumer, you can tell the bias in every story that is done. You can tell. But what is key is, in the bias, is there fairness in the delivery and in the presentation. I have always worked at ensuring that I give that I provide fairness in what I do.
Beautiful.
Then about us being sorted out.
About the sorting aspect.
It's interesting, but in fact, I had a friend who once told me, after coming to our place a couple of times to sit with us, staff, and talk and, you know, discuss way forward and how we could all help each other. He just came there one afternoon after having our usual lunch with us. We do that quite often in the office. He left, and when I saw him off to the car, he said, "Charlie, this your place should be the new," I think it was after a reshuffle and they had created a new ministry or something. He said, "Charlie, they should name this your place a new ministry." I said, Ministry of Complaints.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ministry of Complaints. Because, you see, yeah, people get worried that they get home, even their families think that they are sorted out because they work with a station that is supposed to be for the government. But, you know, they are also struggling like any other journalists out there. And in some cases, they even have to struggle more because they are perceived that way to prove themselves. But, I mean, that is the cross we have chosen to carry, and we do so with pride. Yeah.
Show some love. No, well, on this subject, you know, and especially the Mahama administration taking a lot of flack, corruption. You know. So as a morning show host for this station, corruption is in the news. How fair can you be when you get on behind the mic and deal with the subject? Are you, you know, are you really like considering everything, and are you being, let me stop talking and so you can answer my question.
Yeah, I think that corruption is, it's who is not corrupt in Ghana, first of all? Have you met anyone in Ghana who has never bribed anybody, has never attempted to be, to cut a corner here and there?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So, but we all seem to think about the politician when we talk corruption, don't we? And I have been asking myself how we can get out of it. If we say we don't want that level of corruption in our country, what is our contribution? Because over the years, like you said as a host, I've had to discuss corruption-related issues. And over time, when you go through these stories, you find out that most of the acts of corruption are either being carried out by people, most of the time, by people who do not stand for elections. The beneficiaries sometimes will include politicians. But the act itself, most of the time, will be committed by either the public servant, the civil servant, or the contractor, or just the business lawyer, or that person out there who will bring that business idea. I mean, they are involved in these acts. But when it comes to sharing the proceeds of it, that is when you'll get the politician also, perhaps because he signed something, having a share. So yes, as a host, when these issues come up, you look at them, and I can tell you that we have been fair at our level. The problem has been that when corruption issues come out, they are discussed politically. So when you attempt to break them down, for people to see where the chips should fall, then sometimes there is that temptation for them to assume that you are either being defensive or you are trying to destroy somebody. But I think the time has come for us to begin to look at the issue of corruption critically, because we have seen both the NPP and the NDC in power, and we have seen the acts of corruption that both regimes have had to supervise. And some of the cases of corruption actually, transcend those regimes. Some may have started in the MPP era, and they have their legs and hands and necks in the NDC era. You can talk of Woyomi and the contracts that were awarded and they were cancelled, and then the judgment debt. And these are supposed to be acts of corruption. And when you look at it, underneath it, you'll find the players. I mean, at the time, Woyomi was supposed to be a contractor and not a politician. You know the chief directors and all those who played the role. And when you try to break it down and say, hey, let's not reduce this to only about winning or losing votes, then it becomes difficult, because for many of us, discussing corruption in the media is about winning or losing votes. It is not about fixing the problem.
So the problem cannot be fixed unless the politics is taken out.
Until we stop looking at it as an issue that can help us win or lose votes, we can't fix it, because we are all part of it.
Yeah.
But when we are looking at it as a case of winning votes or losing votes, then we take ourselves out, and then we say it is them. And that for me is where we should look at when we talk about corruption. Let's all accept and acknowledge the fact that we are part of this problem.
All right. Wow. Well, so let me say, you flow, and
thank you.
And in our system, when you flow like that, actually, I could beat my politics. And no, we're in an era where we are finding younger people, dynamic people moving into it. In the MPP is happening, some in the NDC, and I like it.
Okay.
I like that there's a new wave of, of people deciding not to sit on the fence anymore.
Yeah.
So my long question to summarize is that, do you have any such, have you thought about it? Somebody told me, and I don't know if it's a lie, but I'll ask you here. They say, actually, look out for him, Tamale North.
That's
what
yes, everywhere.
Yeah. So I said, well, when he comes, I'll ask him.
First of all, I don't know, but permit me. I disagree when people say that it is a new thing. I think it's been with us for a very long time.
Okay.
We haven't
paid attention.
We haven't paid attention to it. I, for example, I mean, when I look at the Parliament of 2008, I remember how old Haruna Idrisi was. I remember how old Mahama Ayaraga was. I remember how old Muntaka was. Inusa Fusaini. I remember many of them were quite young. They were not very young. They were quite young. Maybe they were at the ages of the people that you are seeing today. But at the time, maybe we didn't pay attention that much to it. But It has always been. I mean, if you look at Rawlings, former President Rawlings, the age that
33,
at that age, you remember Totobi Kwachi's, you know, even President Kufuor when he was minister under the PNDC.
So it's not exactly a new trend.
It's not exactly a new trend. I think
why
I think it's the hype that has gotten to you too. There's a certain hype about, you know,
new blood.
You know, it's always been with us. I think in 2008 there was that hype again when the Sami Okudzeto Blackwells and then Dr. Omania Boames were introduced. You know, there was also that hype around new people coming in.
Okay, you've convinced me. It's not new. I stand corrected.
Thank you.
So,
but
right.
I think it is good. Maybe the edge for younger people to go in now is there, and people are easily. People are becoming easier when it comes to accepting people of that age bracket leading, and which is also a very good thing. I mean, I've had people, and it didn't start now. I've had people talk to me, like you said, Charlie, Parliament, how? You know, but like we say around here, you are still weighing, you know, your chances. You are looking at the options that are still available to you, because, I mean, let's be honest. Politics is not the only way through which you can contribute to, you know, the development of your country or your community. Yes, it's one of the ways. And when people think you can do it, and you assess yourself, and you feel that is one way that you can best contribute, I don't see why you should resist it. And yes, I've heard a lot of people ask me if I'm going for Tamale North, because many people, you know, are interested, and especially because it is a constituency where we have an independent candidate from Tamale. You know, it's one of the 3 seats from Tamale, and it was a constituency that 2 people, the incumbent and then I think his secretary or so. In fact, he wasn't just the constituency secretary. I think he was actually his personal assistant. You know, decided to engage each other, and as a result, they lost out, and the independent candidate won it. So it has become a seat that many people think that anyone on the ticket of the NDC can win it, and because, like you say, I work with Radio Gold, you are pro-NDC, many people contact you and you come from there. Why don't you go and look at it? But I'm also still talking to people and just looking at my options, and maybe when I think it is the best way I can contribute to that community, I already do it.
What is the possibility or probability that?
You never say never.
Scale, you never
say never. I mean, I wouldn't say yes at this point, and I wouldn't say no. Yeah, anything can happen.
Just say you watch.
You keep watching. Watch this space.
So we'll keep watching the space. Wow.
I don't know. Even if I decide to contest, I could even just decide to go independent also and see how it works.
Put your hands together for Suhuyini, man. Well, see, I wanted to catch up with you, so I brought you here for this short conversation, you know. And for the first time, we talked to a very, very single, very unmarried, and very childless. But now you're a married man, happy little girl.
Very stable.
Yeah. So it's good to have you back, man. And I'm sure we'll be talking again. When, or should I say
if I make a decision.
If you should make a decision, I want to here first.
I will.
Put your hands together for
happy
Suhuyini.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, man, and I wish
Always
you all the best,
pleasure
man.
chatting
All
with
right.
you. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Cool. Bye.